Okay, this video is called Why Christians Are the Best Doctors and Scientists. And what I mean by Christians is that the society has to have Christian ethics. A person doesn't have to be Christian, but they have to have Christian ethics. Otherwise, everything goes into the garbage can, and it's kind of obvious why. I'll explain in the video. Although Christianity is the biggest religion in the world, many Christians are not really Christians. I mean, they say they're a Christian, but they don't behave and live in a Christian way. So when I say Christian, I mean somebody who behaves and lives in a Christian way. And what I mean by that is, they accept Genesis that said man is created in the image of God. Therefore, man is part divine and part beast. Therefore, he has intrinsic value. He's part divine, part godlike, and you should treat him with respect. You should not abuse him. He has natural rights, okay? In Christianity, Christian ethics, we believe that all men are equal in the eyes of God. So even the big shot and the poor, homeless, lowlife, they're equal in the eyes of God. So, you treat them right. In Christ's words, that which you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. There's another quote from Matthew chapter 18, verse 6. If anyone causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, it would be better for him to have a large millstone hung around their neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. Okay, so that's a bit harsh, but still the point is, don't abuse the weak, the sick, the vulnerable, children, okay? And then most people are weak and vulnerable, all right? And then the Ten Commandments, do not lie, do not cheat, do not steal, okay? Christians believe they're going to be judged by Christ in the afterlife. Therefore, everything they do matters, and they will be judged for it. They're expected to do the right thing for other people. Okay, Jesus Christ, he said, love thy neighbor, okay? And St. Augustine, a typical quote of Christian, high-level writers is wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. Right is right even if no one is doing it. So you should be nonconformist. You should do what is right even if it's nonconformist, okay? So in comparison, let me get at what's really happening in the modern world. The modern world runs on atheistic Darwinism. All of our institutions that are public have gone down that path. The grade schools, the high schools, the colleges, the grad schools, most hospitals, most public institutions run on atheistic Darwinism. Atheistic Darwinism says humans are nothing special. They're just monkeys that talk. They have no rights. They have no intrinsic value. Their life is meaningless, okay? Their only right is what authority gives them, okay? Non-Christian groups with atheistic Darwinism as their philosophy, which is all of our public institutions, they have no moral foundation. There is no right or wrong. They do whatever they damn well please. And if you don't like it, shove it up your butt. You have no power. You're just a talking monkey. Shut your mouth, okay? What are you going to do? Okay, that's how it works, all right? Also, in many cultures, you go outside of Christian cultures, and most cultures around the world since the beginning of recorded history, the only thing that mattered was the person's family or their co-ethnics, maybe their countrymen. And that's about it. Everybody outside of that was considered an outsider and unworthy of any consideration whatsoever. Maybe you're nice to them for the purposes of trade, but other than that, they're scum, okay? The dhimmi, okay? They have no value. You can do whatever you want to them, okay? All right, in medicine and nutrition, big money often comes from lying to the pros rather than helping them. And so atheistic science is spelled with a dollar sign for the letter S because the typical lies you'll hear on like the high-fat phonies, the bro science club. You make a lot of money if you sell supplements. You make a lot of money for selling omega-3. You can make a lot of money for promoting olive oil, coffee, tea, chocolate, nuts, seeds, all this nonsense. Dr. McDougall said that he felt that the nut industry had influenced the Seventh-day Adventist studies, causing a false promotion of nuts and seeds, okay? People make money promoting stuff like MSG. Doctors and nutrition influencers who promote all this stuff, they often make so much money, they don't have to work. A chump like me, I still work full-time in conventional medicine. I don't make 1 cent from all this YouTube video stuff, but I do it because it's good, it's right. And I kind of like being the best doctor in the world. It's so easy to be the best doctor in the world because there's no competition because almost everyone else is sold out. There's exceptions to that, but not that many. Okay, so anyways, all this nonsense, chocolate, omega-3 supplements, protein powder supplements, omega-6 oils, olive oil, soy, all this stuff's a bunch of nonsense, okay? The golden rule of atheism is that whoever has the gold gets to make the rules. They buy the journals, they buy the scientists. The journal articles, the vast majority of them are just advertisements for corporate products. And it's understandable why the corporations do it. They want to make money. Their priority is to raise value for their stockholders, okay? And the priority of all these non-Christian ethic scientists and nutrition influencers and researchers that, look, they need money. They got to have money to pay for their family. They need money to pay their personal bills. They want the prestige. They don't want to work in some other stinky, boring job. They like the status that comes with it. It helps them to get laid. Look at, what's his name? Andrew Huberman. He had 5 or 6 girlfriends, okay, at a time when I was getting divorced and kicked out of my house. I'm talking about stuff way beyond all the fellowship-trained neurologists and the Harvard textbooks in neurology at that level of neuroscience. And I'm, shadow banned and, ostracized, okay? Huberman's reading out of a baby book, college, freshman, sophomore level tech book, and he's considered the great neuroscientist. It's a joke, okay? The personal philosophy of the non-Christians is atheistic Darwinism, meaning that, there is no such thing as right or wrong. Who cares what you say to a talking monkey? So what if they get sick? It's their own fault. If they're stupid and gullible enough to believe all this crap and eat the junk food and buy these nonsense supplements, then they deserve to be sick. That's the way atheistic Darwinism thinks. It's a survival of the fittest, okay? And if somebody's stupid, that's a sign of low fitness, so screw them, okay? So anyways, that's why I think you have to have Christian ethics to have real science long term. The modern scientific method came out of the Catholic Church. Anybody who studied it knows that. It didn't arise anywhere other than in Catholic Europe, okay? It came out of Catholic Europe, out of the cathedral university system, out of scholasticism, out of St. Thomas Aquinas saying we should study the natural world as it does honor to God. And all these early scientists were a bunch of devout Catholics. And then gradually around the 1800s, you started to have a little bit more variety in who was doing big-time science. Okay, and then even more so in 1900 and more so after 1970. But still, in the end, you're going to have Christian ethics or big money's just going to take over everything as it already pretty much has. And then it's just going to do whatever big money wants, not what's in the interest of the pros. In an atheistic Darwinism culture, the pros are nothing. They're subhuman talking monkeys. So you have to have Christian ethics or it's all going to be corrupt. Anyways, hope you found that helpful.